The learning target for today is to use properties of triangles to solve for missing parts of a triangle. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Hi class, how are you today? That's great! Let's move on. First we're going to talk about types of triangles. So first we have acute, obtuse, and right triangles. Now, I know you know what acute angles are, obtuse angles are, and right angles are, but now we're going to talk about acute triangles, obtuse triangles, and right triangles. First of all, I want to say, ignore my drawings. I'm not a very good artist. Second of all, an acute triangle is one where all the angles of the triangle are acute angles. So, all angles are less than 90 degrees. An obtuse triangle is one that has exactly one obtuse angle. So, one angle is greater than 90 degrees. A right triangle has exactly one right angle. So one angle is equal to 90 degrees. So the next three types of triangles we're going to talk about are equilateral triangles, isosceles triangles, and scalene triangles. So an equilateral triangle is a triangle that has all equal sides. So notice that I put marks here, here, and here. That's to mark that each of these sides are equal to each other. So remember when you see marks like these, it's saying that this line is the same as this line is the same as this line. So an equilateral triangle has all sides are equal or congruent. Isosceles triangle, only two of the sides are congruent. So this one and this one are congruent, but this one is not. So for an isosceles triangle, two sides are congruent. In a scalene triangle, notice I didn't put any marks on it. This side, and this side are all different. So a scalene triangle is no sides are congruent. Now we're going to talk about some theorems about triangles. First, the angle sum theorem. The angle sum theorem says the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So if you have a triangle, WXY, then we can say the measure of angle X plus the measure of angle Y plus the measure of angle W is 180 degrees. And just for a quick notation, M means measure, so it's the measure of angle X, the measure of angle Y. Now the exterior angle theorem. So that says the measure of an interior angle plus the measure of its exterior angle is 180 degrees. So say we have a triangle. So the exterior angle theorem says the measure of an interior angle, so let's say this one right here, plus the measure of an exterior angle, so say this one right here, and I'll mark it with 2 angle marks to show that those two aren't the same. So those 2 angles will add to 180. So we can write it like this. The measure of angle BCA plus the measure of angle BCD is equal to 180 degrees. And remember how we write angles? We say BCA because we want this angle right here. C is the vertex. So we start at B, go to the vertex, and then go inside to A. This one, C is the vertex still, but this time we go out to D, so B, C, D. The last theorem I'm going to talk about today is the vertical angle theorem. The 2 non-adjacent angles created by intersecting lines are congruent. What that means is if you have 2 lines that intersect each other, the angles that are not adjacent are congruent. Remember, adjacent angles are angles that are right next to each other and share a vertex and a side. So, looking here, this angle right here is adjacent to this angle and this angle, but it's not adjacent to this one. So that means this angle and this angle are congruent. Also, same thing goes with this one over here is adjacent to this one and this one, but not this one. So that means this one is congruent to this one. And notice that this has 1, this has 1, so the ones with 1 mark are equal. This has 2, this has 2, so the ones with 2 marks are equal, or congruent. Alright, now let's do some examples with this. So we have a triangle here, and the 3 angles are x plus 17, x plus 20, and x plus 23. And we need to solve for x. Well, we know if we add those 3 up, they'll equal 180, right? So, let's say x plus 17 plus x plus 20 plus x plus 23 equals 180. So, combine like terms. So, x plus x plus x is 3x. 17 plus 20 is 37. Plus 23 is 60. So, plus 60 equals 180. And then solve for x. Subtract 60 from both sides. Gives us 3x equals 120. Divide both sides by 3. And x equals 40. Alright, so in this problem, we're given that this exterior angle right here is 129 degrees. This angle right here is 102 degrees, and we need to find this missing measure right here. Well, first thing we want to do is find the interior angle here. So if we have this exterior angle, we know that this interior angle is just 180 degrees minus the exterior angle. So, (180) minus 129 will give us 51. So we know that this angle right here is 51 degrees. With the exterior angle theorem, it says that this interior angle plus this exterior angle will equal 180, but the triangle sum theorem says this angle plus this angle plus this angle will also add up to 180. So from that we can tell this angle plus this angle is the same as this angle right here. So we have that 51 plus 102 is 153 degrees, and that's our missing measure. Alright, one final example. So here we technically have two triangles going on. We have this triangle, which we know has 45 degrees and 15 degrees. We have this triangle as 27 degrees and the question mark that we want to know. And these two are unmarked. So first step, we know two angles here, so let's find the third angle of this triangle. So it's going to be 180 minus these two added up. So that'll give us 180 minus 45 plus 15 is 60. So that's 120 degrees. So this angle right here is 120 degrees. We also know that this line right here is intersecting this line right here, meaning this angle and this angle are vertical angles. And if they're vertical angles, that means these two angles are congruent. So this angle over here is also 120 degrees. So then we can just look and say, this is 27, this is 120, so this must be 180 minus these two. So 180 minus 147, which is 120 plus 127, will give us 33. So our question mark is 33 degrees. Alright, so that's it for the lesson today. Once again, please don't forget to take notes on this entire lesson. I will see you next class. Have a good night.